Good morning, you guys. Life is a trip, man. I swear. Life is such a trip. So I wake up every morning at 4 a.m. and I love it. That's just what I do. I love waking up early when it's dark, and I love being able to um, get my energy drink and sit in front of my laptop. Log on to eBay, check the numbers, see how many orders I have to ship out this morning. Um, and that's just part of my routine when I wake up. So this morning, I was thinking to myself, I've been talking a lot about how I want to start going to AA meetings again. I haven't been to one in a while. Since I was a life coach. I think that was the last time that I've been to one. But those meetings were for those clients, and as I've said before, I would always try and still try and take something with me, from those meetings, something to think about. And I would try and apply that towards my recovery. So, thinking to myself, I finished waking up this morning and I just got a wild hair and decided to hit up a meeting. And this particular meeting is at 6:45 in the morning, way on the east side. Um, and it worked out, so I decided to go. And this particular meeting is a meeting that when I was in rehab, not my last one, but the one I stayed at prior to that, it was a 2-month rehab. Really cool meeting. They take you to outside meetings, and they go to a meeting Monday through Friday. So when I pulled up, I think I pulled up like 10, 12 minutes prior to 6:45. I pulled up and I see the rehab vans. Those rehab vans, man. Like, I remember being a client and sitting in one of those vans. Um, the people at the meeting, like, the attendees at the meeting, every time they would see the van pull up, they're like, yep, there's the druggy buggy. Rehab kids are coming. So I remember being on that van, and just being on that van just brought back so many memories, man. So I walk inside the meeting and uh, pour myself a cup of coffee, right? And this lady comes up and she says, "Hey, I like your shoes." And I was wearing some Nikes that I have, and she says, "I have the female version of those shoes. They're really cool. They're real colorful, real comfortable." And so, before looking up to see who I was talking to, I I look at her shoes, and then I look up, and I've ran into her before. Um, the first time I ran into her was when I was a client at the rehab, and I ran into her at that same place, at that meeting. I just met her one day, um, and I was telling her how I was a client at the rehab, and we were just talking back and forth. And she's an artist, and back then she paints rocks. She does many things, but she paints rocks, like little pictures or whatever, and she'll paint it on the rock. And her and I were talking. I was letting her know, things I was going through. Was telling her how my parents were divorced, and I was living with my mom, and she's really stressed out. about me. She hopes I get it this time. And I was telling her, I'm working a really hard program. And she wanted to paint me a rock. This is all taking place in 2017. So she one day, a few meetings later, she gifts me a rock. It was a rock, and there was a picture of Jesus on it, and she gave it to me, and I told her I would give it to my mom. So I gave it to my mom. She has that. She still has that. So fast forward to today, right? So I walk in the meeting. I could immediately spot like who was in that treatment center, right? Not because I know them or anything like that, but I spot them because I was a client there, so I knew what to look for. A lot of these people, a lot of these clients, they have like little notebooks, stuff like this. Books like these. You can write notes down or things you got to do, stuff you want to work on while you're in rehab. I still have one, but this is for eBay and for YouTube now. But so I'd always carry one of these with me, and so I immediately recognized those clients, and it was pretty cool. I was in the same shoes, all that good stuff. Anyway, yeah. So she's talking to me, right? I'm getting my coffee. She's talking to me, and I was blown away because it was her. I run into her, and we start talking, and I tell her, I was like, "Is your name?" And then I tell her what her name was. She's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "How'd you know?" I was like, "I used to be a client. I used to be one of these guys that were part of the rehab that would come to this meeting." And I was like, "You painted a rock for my mom." And I gave it to my mom. She still has it. She loves it, right? And she was just blown away. I was like, "How are you with dogs?" Because I wanted her to paint me another a rock for me of this guy right here. And she's like, "Yeah, no problem." She's like, "You know what?" She's like, "I haven't been to this meeting in a while." She said she's been going through chemical depression. I'm not sure what that is, but she says she was having trouble finding a doctor that would help her out, give her medication. She found one, and it's been working for her. So she decided to go to a meeting, right? And then she said her just seeing me at that meeting and telling her, the fact that I opened up, reintroduced myself, and just even being there, she said that was like such a miracle for her. Because she was, I sensed she was at a state of depression. There was a lot going on in her life, right? She said just the fact that I was there, the fact that we connected, I told her I haven't gone to a meeting in a while just because I felt like I was doing so good in my recovery. Going to a meeting every single day wasn't like the highest priority on my agenda. So just the fact, she was blown away as much as I was, and just the fact that we're both in the same city, somehow we end up right at the meeting where we first met. And prior to going to the meeting this morning, she said she was talking with her husband. She's like, maybe I should start painting again. And because that's one of the things, obviously, that she loves doing. She hasn't done it in a while because she was in a mental funk. Now that she has the medication in her life, she's able to function. She's able to be herself. She was blown away. She said me being there just inspired her in that moment, inspired her to start painting again. And I was thinking about that throughout the entire meeting, you know. I didn't think my presence could affect somebody that much. You know, I thought I was the only one that could affect my recovery. I didn't think me being there was that big of a deal. You know, I preach a lot about giving yourself a chance, showing up for yourself. The fact that I gave myself another chance, the fact that I decided to show up for myself, the fact that I'm being proactive once again in my recovery, even though it's been a while, but I'm going to start, even if it's one meeting a week. You know, that's a huge deal. Huge deal. Just the fact I was showing up for myself, going to that meeting, helped another person with their journey. You know, I try and learn something new every day. You know, if you think that showing up somewhere or participating in something really doesn't have, you know, an impact on anybody, I'm here to tell you it does, man. That was a pretty special moment, you know. So her and I, we're gonna stay in contact. I'm gonna send her some pictures of my pup, and you know, I'm definitely gonna keep going to that meeting. It's not the closest one in my house, but it was pretty cool. You know, I'm gonna try and go to that one at least once a week. But anyway, guys, I gotta get back to work. I just wanted to share this with you guys. You know, I'm learning how to live again. Even though I'm 4 years into my recovery, I'm still learning how to live again. Because this body right here, this mentality that I have, it feels brand new. I used to be so numb back in the day. I was using opiates for 13 years. That takes a toll on your body, on your spirit, on your energy, on your heart, on your mind. I was so numb, I wasn't able to feel, you know? So each day that I'm living right now, nowadays, each day is the best day of my life, because every day feels so brand new. Even so far into my recovery, it still feels brand new. And I am so happy inside, you know? I'm very happy inside, just because I know I'm doing so good. I wish everybody felt how I feel, you know? I might not look like the happiest guy, but I feel it. I'm able to feel things again. And it's a blessing, you know? I'm happy, and I hope you are too. Truly mean that. Thanks for listening.